What's going on, everyone? It's Yasser from the Improvement Journal. These things are hard to get rid of. Around the end of last year, you can see I was tracking my time and I was spending around 5 hours a day, so I try to make it a New Year resolution for myself to decrease that time. And within the first week of me doing that, you can see how much my time has even decreased. It's decreased to about 11 minutes a day. There were some days where I was using my phone for 2 minutes. 2 minutes the whole day. And man, I was someone who was on this thing all the time. I was addicted. I think 5 hours was actually on the lower side. There were some days I was up on 6 hours, 7 hours. And it's scary, man. It's scary to know that you're spending that much time on your phone. And I certainly was, and I could see it being a problem because when I would go out and I would be bored for like a fraction of a second, I start doing that. Or if I'm sitting with someone and maybe I'm not really interested in what they're saying, and slowly my phone would just distract me. And because I had Instagram, I had Facebook, I had the newsfeed, it was like this endless abyss of information that I was constantly using to compare other people. Which should I listen to this person and his story and him complaining about his boss, or should I just go to Instagram and see what everyone else is up to? And you know, everyone just seems a lot more interesting on Instagram, so you just rather do that. When I was looking at the apps that I had used the most, Instagram was by far the most. The second one was Facebook, and then YouTube and all of that. So the problems were Instagram and Facebook. And I started asking myself, am I getting any value out of these apps? I have a decent following on Instagram, but that alone isn't really a reason to have it on, right? Especially if I'm opening the app and I'm scrolling it constantly again and again, looking here, looking there, and spending 4 hours a day. Is that time worth it? And the answer was no. I decided to do something about it on New Year's Day. I decided I'm gonna quit for good. Full disclosure, I have tried this before. I have hopped off of Instagram before. I have hopped off of Facebook before, but it never worked because I always went down cold turkey and never found a mutual ground, a very productive way to have it in my life. It always crept in somehow or the other, right? So this is, I think, my fourth attempt at doing it, but this time I actually made it work. First thing I did was, of course, uninstall the apps from my phone. I mean, come on, man, that's an obvious one. You have to get rid of them. Easy access. If they're walking around with you, if they're in the bus with you, if they're in the car with you, if you're out with your friends and they're still with you, they're going to be easy to access. It's kind of like having candy in the house. If you have candy in the house, if you see it on the fridge, in the fridge, where do you put candy? Wherever. If you see it around, you're gonna eat it. If you don't see it, you just have less of an urge. So if I took it off of my phone, at least I wouldn't use it on my phone. Maybe I could go in my laptop and do it, but I didn't. The more difficult thing to do was actually leaving my phone at home. I would go to work, I would make sure my phone is at home, and I would come back home and I'd just dive onto the bed, just find my phone and look for all the messages, all the calls I had, and just soak up that good dopamine. You know, oh man, it felt great coming home at the end of the day and just getting your phone and just all of the messages from everyone, and actually felt kind of sad. Anyway, that's how much I knew I was addicted to it. I was just constantly looking for validation from other people, and I felt that I prioritized the conversation and the social interaction I got on this thing rather than actual social interaction. This is what I decided. I'm going to delete the apps off my phone, and I'm going to keep my phone at home every time I leave the house. I was thinking, what do I use my phone for when I do take it out? I use it to text, I use it to Instagram. How many emergencies have I had in the past while? Not a whole lot, but we'll get to that. Now, the first week was pretty hard, I'll tell you. It's just leaving phone at home. Is kind of, you had all that FOMO kicking in. You constantly wanted Instagram. You were thinking about Instagram. You were wondering, is my friend sending me that dope meme that I'm not looking at? Maybe there's a party somewhere. Maybe there's a party somewhere I don't know about and I'm missing out. What's going to happen? And there's also this feeling of feeling irrelevant. Like, if you're not posting on Instagram, you're not liking pictures, you're not doing something, are you even relevant to the world? Are you even alive? Do you even exist anymore, man, if you're not on Instagram? But that was me. I think that's my addiction. My addiction was Instagram and Facebook. That's why I use my phone a lot. You might have a different app you're addicted to. Just see why you use it. Why is it something you need to have in your life? If it's not giving you value, if it's not giving you a what's the word I'm looking for? If it's not giving you any utility and you don't really see any use for it, you should get rid of it. And for me, that's kind of what Instagram and Facebook was. I didn't really see it as a utility. I didn't really use it as a business. I just used it to put up photos and look at other people's photos. I would say 95% of the time I'm looking at other people's photos and just comparing myself. Oh my God, look at this person on a nice vacation in Hawaii. Why can't I go to Hawaii? Look at his car. Why can't I have that car? Look at his girlfriend. Why can't I have... Okay, no, I didn't think that. But you know what I mean, right? That's just how my mind thinks. Always comparing, and When you do it all day, every day, subconsciously comparing in your head again and again, man, it's not good for your mental health, is it? I didn't feel good at all about it. The first week was hard. The second week got a little easier because I got used to leaving my phone at home. I didn't walk out with it. I would tell my friends, hey, I'm going to be here. I'll meet you there, blah, blah, blah. And I would. There have been times where I showed up at the venue and I'm waiting for my friend, like, okay, they're going to show up any second now, and then they don't turn up. Turns out I go back home and they had texted me saying that the plan's been canceled. So it does come with its fair share of inconveniences, but I feel like the mental freedom I get is kind of worth it. The real victim of my whole no phone thing is actually all my friends and family who are trying to contact me, okay? I feel like people who are in the habit of texting every day, all the time, they can get a hold of me and they're inconvenienced. While for me, I'd rather choose the times where people can contact me. I don't want to be constantly available. It's like having your store open all the time, every day, you know, but instead it's not a store, it's you as a person. You're open all the time to everyone, every day, 24/7. It's a lot of work I'm not getting paid for. Anyway, yeah, there were some hindrances like that, but then you get used to it. You kind of prioritize. Do I need something on me all the time, or should I just pick my appointments in the morning, or pick my appointments for the week, contact people ahead of time, and then meet them when I go out? And I would check my phone maybe once in the evening, or I would set one time during the day when I would pick it up. I just don't want to be that person who every time I hear the phone vibrate, I'm just like, where is it? You know what I mean? I didn't want to be one of those people. By those people, I mean me. What I'm trying to say is I just didn't want to be myself anymore, man. Yeah, man, I'm just not on Instagram anymore, you know? I don't see the value in it. I feel like mentally I'm always doing that self-comparison and I'm constantly scrolling, and then I'm just getting, you know, lost in the whole feed. Not good for my mental health, so I just gave it up. I was like, you know what? I can do other things with my time. And when I freed up my phone time, I had 6 hours in my hand that I'm now putting onto my YouTube channel, putting out content, talking to you guys, talking about all this good stuff. One bad thing though, you know how they say, how often have you had this emergency, or you're not going to have an emergency, whatever. I was saying that, and then there was one day where there actually was an emergency when someone really close to me was feeling really sick, and I'm glad I had my phone on me that one particular day because I was able to just leave the office and help a friend out. And you know, that would not have happened if I didn't have this thing on me, and it's so unpredictable. But you can see a certain pattern, like if you will need your phone on certain days more than other days. If you know a friend is not feeling good, keep your phone on you. So it's always nice to have something there, and you can access it when you want to. You just don't always need it on you, okay? You don't always need your phone. If I think a really good way to go about it, if I didn't have Wi-Fi and I just had the phone mechanics of it and people could text me, that's fine. Because if you think about back in the day when we had those Nokia phones, people weren't really addicted to their phones the way they are now. And I think a lot of that is because of social media on here. You have Wi-Fi, you have unlimited amounts of information. Back in the day, maybe you had Snake on there, or I don't know, like you would text and then you would wait, and you would wait, and then you would wait. There were no blue ticks on WhatsApp. You just have to stare at your phone till it vibrates, and then you would just pick it up and you pretend like you didn't read it for 15 minutes, and you look it away, and then you would pick it up and you would type your you know what I mean? Was it just me who would do all that? Anyway, this is kind of what my stats would look like, and then this is kind of what my stats look like now as well. You can see I just barely ever use my phone, just a couple of minutes during the day. And I will admit, you know, sometimes I put up WhatsApp on my computer, and that's how I use WhatsApp, so it might be a little bit more than that. But majority of my time was going to Instagram and Facebook, and I've been freed of that, so that's not happening anymore. Mentally, I feel good. I feel free. I don't feel like everyone's constantly telling me what they want from me, and this might sound really bad if you're talking to your friends, but if everyone's texting you all the time, telling you about their problems, their issues, all of that weighs on you. So when I don't have interaction with people constantly, I feel like there's a lot of room in my brain to kind of ease out, relax, and I think I've been more anxiety free now than I have possibly ever been, and I'm a very, very anxious person, so that's very new to me. You might not be as addicted to it as I am, but one way to check it is just go to your phone usage and see how much you use it, man. Because I talked to some people and they're like, oh, I've got a pretty good control of my phone, I'm not addicted to it, and then they would open their phone and their usage was like 7 hours a day. Like, That is crazy, guys. If you're awake like 12 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours of the day, and 7 hours of that is on your phone, even 5 hours, like, think of all the other stuff you could be doing with that time. And then the amount of the amount of interruptions you have. You know, you're doing this, you're doing a task, and then you know, it's a lot of interference during your day. So now that I don't have that anymore, I feel good. I feel mentally relaxed. I'm going to keep doing this. I feel like for the first time in a long time, I've really cut it out. And the way I did it was to delete all the apps from my phone and set a very strict boundary of when I can use my phone. I wouldn't take it out unless I absolutely needed to. If I was going somewhere where I didn't know the directions, then I would take it. Or usually I would just tell my friends I'm meeting them at a certain place and I would just see them. Because I feel like when I'm there with them, I want to spend time with them. I don't want this thing to be on the table distracting me with other people's messages. I don't want to socialize on my phone while I'm socializing with people in front of me. Does that make sense? Like it shouldn't make sense. Like you're out there to meet people. Why are you meeting people? You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my rant there on my own phone addiction, and hope that helped you out. Just try to give yourself boundaries, cold turkey, see the value you get out of it. If you don't get value, you don't need it, man. You don't have to be on Instagram. You don't have to be on Facebook. You don't have to use WhatsApp all day long. You don't have to be constantly connected to everyone all the time, every day. Give yourself some time to breathe and you'll enjoy it. This has been Yasser from The Improvement Journal. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. See you in the next one. Take care.